I got it on.
All right, you ready? All right, so we ran into a problem with the vent the other day. We kind of figured out that there's some things that changed with the update, so we want to make sure everybody's aware of them. So the changes are mainly in regard to pediatrics. So now when you turn the vent on, once it cycles on, you get the option to select adult or pediatric. So it starts on adult, and then you'll switch to pediatric here. Now the main thing that changes when you change it to pediatric is you notice that it switches from AC mode, AC volume, to AC pressure. So if you're not familiar with that, instead of being AC volume, volume delivers whatever tidal volume I set. What AC pressure does is it sets your PIP, and then it pushes air in until you hit that number. So the problem that we run into when we select that is that if you're doing chest compressions, when you choose that, your PIP pressure due to the compressions is going to be extremely high. If you remember when we use the auto pulse, we're going to use it on kids, obviously, when we're adults, we always have to turn this high alarm up because the pressure is so high due to the chest compressions. So this pressure volume, this pressure mode is going to give you a lot of problems if you try to use that. So there's two solutions that you can do if you run into this. The first one is to leave it in pediatric mode. Go ahead and select pediatric mode, and then you're going to need to take it off of the pressure setting. So we go to this, to our AC mode, excuse me, switch to the P, scroll your selector until you get ACV, stands for volume, down there at the bottom, hit your check mark again, and you should stay in volume mode. Well, now we're in volume mode. So when I go to volume mode, you'll notice my tidal volume is now extremely low. That's not going to be enough, so we're going to have to make that adjustment for the kid that we're using. So that varies with size. There's several ways to calculate that. The easiest way is to get a predicted body weight chart on your phone, and then you can get this tidal volume. So you'll have to select your tidal volume. We're going to say that we have a 44 pound child, so your tidal volume is going to be somewhere between 160 milliliters and up to 280. So we're going to select 160 for our tidal volume, and then select yes. So the main thing that it changed, I've changed this back and I've changed this back to volume, is it changed our breath per minute for 20, which is correct for a child. So now the ventilator is ready to use now. It's in regular AC volume mode, which you're used to. So that's one way to fix it. I'm going to walk through it again. If you're using this pediatric again, it comes on. I'm in adult mode. I go to pediatric and I notice it's an AC pressure. Okay, so I can simply switch back to adult mode. That's going to be normal, that we're normally familiar with. I can just leave it in adult mode. The things I need to change now are I need to adjust my tidal volume, which I have to do on every patient anyway. I put it down to the tidal volume that I want for the child, my check mark, and I adjust my breaths per minute up to 20. And the ventilator's ready to go. Okay, so one more point, that's two ways to fix it. One way is to do pediatric, and you have to switch the mode, or just leave it in adult is the second way. And you can just adjust your tidal volume and your breaths per minute. The other thing that's good to know with this is a pediatric and adult circuit. Okay, so this circuit, it uses in pressure mode. It needs this circuit in there so it can calculate the dead space of this tubing for that pressure mode. So in order for that, the child has to weigh 44 pounds or above. If they're below 44 pounds, you cannot use this circuit on them. And there's too much dead space in this. And according to the ZOL, that's not allowed for if they're smaller than this. There's a neonate circuit, which we do not have. So if you have an infant, you're going to want to use their ventilator, not ours. If you're in a position where they don't have one, you need them, you're going to have to use our regular bag. You're not going to be able to use the ventilator for that kid. So hopefully that clears that up for you guys. Thanks.